And so after that mission finishes, where do you end up going?
I go to East Timor, and that was East Timor was like a protectorate of Indonesia, and they were voting for autonomy or independence. And I went over there. There was a small contingent of police from around the world. Went over there.
And what are the people of Timor? Because I know Indonesia is predominantly Muslim.
Yeah.
But what are the people
Christian.
of Timor? So they wanted autonomy. They wanted their own.
Yeah, they wanted their own country.
Their own country. Okay.
Yeah, they wanted their own country. And Indonesia was giving them. They were going to vote on it. They were giving them a choice of total independence in your own country, new country, or autonomy, where we'll give you more independence, but you fall into Indonesia. So that stuff went all through the UN, and Indonesia was was told that they had to put this referendum out there with autonomy or independence, and the Timorese were going to vote on it, not the Indonesians, you know. So I went over there with
So nice that they got to pick, but other places around the world don't get to choose.
Yeah.
Seems pretty hypocritical.
Well, I mean, I know where you're going kind of with it.
Well, they didn't let Kosovo do that.
Yeah.
They were an autonomous region in Yugoslavia. They tried peacefully.
Yeah.
They declared their independence peacefully. It wasn't recognized the first time around, and then armed insurrection happened.
You know, look at a location.
My family would be alive if they gave them that option.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Look at a location. Are you talking about Europe, where people kind of care and is more invested in it than out in the Pacific, man, where people like it's so far away, just like Africa. No one really gives a crap about it, so you can do whatever you want.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Time and placement in everything in life. Time and placement, you know, right time, right place.
So they end up voting.
So I go over there, and my job is I'm out in a jungle camp, or a jungle village, and my job is I'm living with two United Nations volunteer that are registering people and taking the votes, you know. So I'm out there for about 2 months. They vote for independence, and the country flames up because the Indonesian supported a militia used them as their strong hand to kill people and cause destruction for people that voted for independence. Because the Indonesian government did not want to give up East Timor because it was a place that, first of all, they have oil off the coast. So it's going to be a wealthy country when they get to the oil. And the other part is that they have teak wood. There's all type of harvesting that they do over there, make a lot of money out of that, and they didn't want to give it up. So they had militias, paid militias that when they voted for independence, that created destruction, man. It was insane. And that you're not only talking about with guns, you're talking about with machetes.
You were there?
Yeah. I was
when the violence started?
I was there too. Myself and 11 other police officers were the last ones to leave the country, because we went down to the main compound, the United Nations compound in Dili. That's the capital, and we locked down there with 1,500, 1,600 refugees that were getting slaughtered out in front of the UN. They ran there for safety. And we brought them into the compound, and we were locked in. We couldn't move. We couldn't take them out, and we couldn't if we took out on our own. You know, we got safe passage to the airport and let us leave. The Indonesian militia would come in there and slaughter those people. So we were in a stalemate, and it went through the United Nations in New York. Big hearings. President Clinton was the president at the time. Threats were made to the Indonesian government. So eventually, Australia took. Custody is the wrong word, but took the refugees in, 1,400, and 12 of us stayed at the end to make sure everybody got out, and then myself and 12 other officers were the last to leave.
So those people all went to Australia?
Yeah, they all went to Australia until the country settled out. Then they brought in a peacekeeping mission, and then they could bring them back. But initially, they took them out there because if they left them there, they would have been killed.
Was that your first time in Asia?
Yes.
What was that like, man?
Well, East Timor is different, man. You know.
I know, but what was it like when you got off that plane? I mean,
well, you know what? I did.
Did you ever say like, "Where the hell am I right now"?
No, I did training in Australia, in Darwin, and Darwin's all the way. That's Crocodile Dundee land. You know what I mean? And it's hot as heck out there. You know what I mean? It's near the Great Barrier Reef out there. And one of the guys that trained us was a New Zealand police officer, and I remember him telling us that like, don't sleep under coconut trees, because if a coconut comes down, it hits you in the head and can kill you. And I'm like, damn, man, I'm a New York City cop, man. What are you talking about? A coconut hitting me in the head's gonna kill me. And then I referenced it to like, when you go into the project building, you have to move quick, because if you don't move quick, they'll toss a bowling ball or toilet off the roof and kill you. So I guess it relates to, you know, my thinking about it. But it was different, man. It was, I'm a type of guy that can fit in anywhere. You know what I mean? Especially when there's work to be done. So I just kind of absorbed it, man, and just fit in. I get along. I was working with the East Timor police, and they love me, you know. But it was different, man. We had no food. We ate rice every night, so it was a great place to lose weight. Rice and water, and nothing to do. By 8 o'clock at night, you were in bed.
Did you have soy sauce at least?
No, eventually I got some soy sauce, but no, we didn't. It was hard, man. And the only thing to do all during the day when I had two girls that were the UNVs, and they were signing people up all day long, and I'd just be sitting there. I had the police with me, and all they do during the day is they do cockfighting, you know, chicken fighting, right?
Roosters.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Like from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, man, they'd hold a couple cockfights, right? So I remember I started watching that because there's nothing to do, man. I'm sitting in the chair, you're frying out there, and I remember they had one. He won like 2 in a row, and I named the guy Tyson because Mike Tyson was big at the time. And when I finally put money on the bet, he lost. You know what I mean? But there was nothing to do. Until we got evac to Dilley, and then there was a lot to do, man. People were getting shot when we were in a compound. They were throwing grenades in. Actually, there's a great book out there called Scorched Earth, written by this girl, Tammy, and it's about the whole thing in there. And they put me in a book, and it's kind of funny because when I read the excerpt, I could hear myself talking with a New York accent. The commissioner of the police, you know, the International Police Task Force, when we were in a compound, he called us all in there and he said, hey, who wants to stay at the end? You're going to be the last ones here, and we can't guarantee your safety. And I was like, I'll stay, you know, with a New York accent, right? And they put it in the book, you know, and then 11 others volunteered to stay off of it, you know. And a shout-out to Sharon, a shout-out to Pete and Aaron. They were Australian police officers, stayed to the end with me, you know, and a few others, you know, they did a tremendous job.
So if I'm hearing this correctly, by the grace of God, you basically saved 1,400 lives.
I don't look at it that.
With your team, I'm saying, not just you,
yeah,
but
I mean,
let's be real. If you guys would have left, what would have happened?
Yes, the people, they would have been slaughtered, but, you know, that was our job. That was our mission. So, yes, I guess you want to phrase it that way, you can, but we never looked at it that way. We just look at it as the right thing to do. You got to stay. You got to get them out, and when they're all out, then we go. So, yeah.
Have you been back to East Timor since?
I haven't, and he just had to.
Do you ever want to go back?
I did, but I wanted to go back for the anniversary of it. And the SRSG, who was a top dog, you know, the top UN official, was a coward and wanted to leave before the refugees got out. And the only reason why he didn't leave is because the United Nations UNVs, the volunteers, refused to leave the compound. And he couldn't leave with UN personnel there. And he went back for the anniversary and got, you know, big awards. And it really got me disgusted, man. But I'd love to go back because now it's a whole different. Now there's resort hotels there. It's built up. It was beautiful. It was an island, man. It's like Bali, going to Bali. You know, surfers paradise.
Crystal clear water.
Yeah, crystal clear. Great.
They like Americans.
Fish. Love them.
Glamour.